Hello friends and welcome. I'm so glad you could join me today because today I'm going to be focusing on favorites, but not just any favorites, favorite drugstore products from 6 of my very favorite drugstore brands. Now let's face it, when we walk into a Target, a CVS, a Walmart, or almost any drugstore makeup section and face what seems like a never-ending sea of products, it can be a bit overwhelming. And while drugstore brands are definitely more affordable than what we find in department store or specialized beauty retailer stores, we still don't want to waste our money on a blush that will be patchy, a foundation that actually ages us, a mascara that results in more clumps than volume, or products that may have worked on our 30-year-old skin, but definitely not on our mature skin. So in today's video, I'll be sharing specific products from 6 of my favorite brands that we can really count on. And in the comments section below, I hope you'll share some of your very favorite tried and true products from some of your favorite brands. Before we launch into this topic, I want to thank each of you for either returning or for stopping by to check out this channel for the very first time. My name is Elise, and I hope you'll find a wonderful, comfortable home here. We're all about discovering the makeup tips, techniques, and products that will help us the most to look our very best. And occasionally, we also have fun with fashion or focus on wellness. As a makeup artist who specializes in working with those of us who are over 50, there is nothing that I like more than helping all of us look like the very best possible version of ourselves. In fact, just recently I received a lovely email from a woman with whom I did an online makeup consultation a couple of years ago. She said that on a recent trip, she was in a Starbucks and the barista complimented her on her eyeshadow. In the email she sent me, she went on to say that she loves combining 2 eyeshadow colors, as we talked about during her makeup consultation, and that during her recent chemo treatment, doing her makeup every morning was a real boost for her. She was so kind to pass along this feedback, and I feel so fortunate and blessed to get to know so many of you through this work. Now, let's talk about favorite drugstore makeup brands and best products from those brands. You may want to grab some tea, coffee, or water because we have quite a few products to cover. Let's go ahead and start with the brand e.l.f. And what an absolutely amazing few years this brand has had. When they debuted their e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter last summer, which is an amazingly good dupe for Charlotte Tilbury's far more expensive Flawless filter, they ended up with a waiting list of more than 75,000 people. This product was actually sold out everywhere, and it took months for it to get back in stock, but it was worth the wait. I'm sure many of you have this product and probably have it on your favorites list as well. But let's start today's makeup routine with an eyebrow product from e.l.f. Because my brows are quite sparse and need more definition, I like to start off with a brow pencil to better define my upper and lower brow line. And this $3 Instant Lift brow pencil from e.l.f. does a great job. I use the color Neutral Brown. So I'm first brushing my brows up with the spoolie, and then I'm going along the upper brow line just because it's not the least bit even. And then I'm going to go along the lower line. And I'm going to fill in just a little bit as I go. That is definitely looking a lot better. I like to start with a softer or lighter color, and then if I need to, add more of a darker color. Brown. This next product is a great dupe for several more expensive eyebrow products. It's e.l.f.'s Wow Brow. And what makes this product especially more helpful for those of us with mature skin is that it has fibers which add volume to our eyebrows. I have 2 shades, Neutral Brown and Deep Brown, and I like to start off with a lighter color, and then depending on what's on my schedule for the day, I may stick with the neutral color or go for a slightly stronger brow look. Today, I'm going to keep it softer. These are the e.l.f. Wow Brow products. So I'm just going to fill in. You can see this is adding a little bit more depth and dimension to my brows and making them fuller. And I think this does just as good a job as more expensive brow products like this. To cover up gray or white brow hairs, I'll also sometimes use one of my favorite Maybelline products. It's their Brow Fast Sculpt Eyebrow Gel Mascara, which comes in 8 shades. I don't need to use it today because frankly the Wow Brow really covered up some of those gray and white brow hairs. It's one of the few brow gels I've found that actually does cover gray and white brow hairs effectively. And one of my other Maybelline favorites is their eyebrow pomade or cream, which comes in 6 different shades. A brow pomade is a great product to use if you have very sparse brows since it adheres well to bare skin, but it is easy to dip in and apply too much, so I always suggest wiping off some of the product on the inside of the product cap. And I'll be talking about a few more of my Maybelline favorites a little bit later on. There are 3 other products from e.l.f. that are my absolute favorites. They're bite-sized eyeshadow palettes, especially these 3, I Love You A Latte, Cream and Sugar, and Pumpkin Pie. I was going to actually use one of these bite-sized palettes for my eyeshadow today, but because I've talked about them so much in other videos, I'm going to go ahead with another favorite eyeshadow in just a few minutes. And if you've watched many of my videos, you will certainly not be surprised by this next e.l.f. favorite. It's their Hydrating Camo Concealer. I use one shade for color correcting my dark circles and use the other shade as a concealer over the corrector. I'll be applying these a little bit later in the video. And the final e.l.f. favorite I want to mention today is e.l.f.'s Putty Blush. And I particularly love the shade Bora Bora, which is a beautiful pink. But it also comes in 7 other colors. It's really comparable to many high-end blushes in how easy it is to apply and how easy it is to blend. And I have to give high marks to 2 other cream and liquid blushes from 2 other brands, LA Girl's Stick Blush and Makeup Revolution's Liquid Blush. Now, since I want to finish up my eye makeup, let's go ahead and move on to one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes, which happens to be from ColourPop. And ColourPop is now available at Target, at least some of their products. If you love eyeshadow, you'll want to have the ColourPop website bookmarked because they literally have hundreds of eyeshadows, from Super Shock Singles, which are very high glow products, to 4, 5, 9, 12, 15, 24, and even 30 pan eyeshadow palettes in every conceivable color story. The quality can vary a bit, but overall, these eyeshadows are really good. Today, I'm going to be dipping into one of their 30 pan palettes called Gone Matte. One of the things I love most about this palette is the layout because there's no guesswork whatsoever in what color combinations can work together well. Each vertical column has colors in the same color family from light to dark that will always look good together. But you can basically pick out any color from any place on this palette to create a lovely look, especially since there's a wonderful combination of warm, cool, and neutral colors. I'm going to go ahead and dip into it right now. And I'm going to go with the 4th column from the left. I'm going to start with this lightest color at the top for my eyelids. Then I'm going to combine this color and the one above it for my crease. These are warm peachy colors, which I love combining with browns and blues, as a matter of fact. So this warmer color is going to go in my crease, and then a cooler tone color is going to go elsewhere. And you can combine just about any colors in this palette and it will work. I'm going to make sure it comes up high enough. I'll use what's left over to just go up toward the brow. Then I'm going to combine this deepest color at the bottom with the one above it for the outer part of my crease and eyelid. And I'm just going to stamp it on. And I'm going a little bit higher at the very outer corner to help lift my eye. Then I'm taking the brush that had the lightest color on it, and I'm just going to blend this so there is no line of demarcation between the lighter and the deeper color. And then I really almost barely need to do this, but I'm just going to blend everything together. I'll go ahead and use the deepest color for my eyeliner. Well, not quite the deepest. I'm going to use this one. And then I'm going to use what's left over on my brush to take it a little bit higher, but because I only have a little bit of product, it's very soft looking. These days, I hardly ever use anything but eyeshadow for eyeliner, just because it's so much easier and more forgiving. And then I'm going to go back and use some of those original colors on the outer 1/3 and mix in a slightly deeper color. So I basically use this deepest color and the two above it. I'm just going to use a makeup wipe to make sure I don't have any eyeshadow beneath this line and blot off any fallout. Because if you have eyeshadow beneath this line, it tends to make your eyes look droopy. ColourPop certainly has good products in most makeup categories, but eyeshadow is where they really shine. One of the best drugstore mascaras out there is from L'Oreal. It's their Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara. But unfortunately, due to very sensitive eyes, I haven't yet found a drugstore mascara that I can wear that doesn't irritate my eyes. So I went ahead and applied my mascara off camera. And I went ahead and used Dalton's Effort Lash Mascara on the top lashes and Clinique Bottom Lash Mascaras on the bottom. Several years ago, L'Oreal came out with a makeup line specifically for those of us over 50 called Age Perfect, with a number of older celebrities as brand ambassadors, including actresses Helen Mirren and Viola Davis. One of their products in this line is the Age Perfect Serum Foundation, which comes in 30 different shades. I'm going to go ahead and mix some of this foundation with just a little of one of my other favorite drugstore foundations, Wet n Wild's Photo Focus Matte Foundation. The Age Perfect foundation creates a lovely soft glow, which is really beautiful on mature skin. These are the two I'll be combining, and I'm going to be using the matte foundation from Wet n Wild. They also have a dewy one, which I also love. And it's always a good idea to shake foundation before you apply it, especially liquid foundations because they can separate a bit. So I just mixed the two of these together on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to press it in a little bit first. And this just gives me a little bit more coverage by doing this. And then I'll buff. So the Wet n Wild foundation was a matte, and the other foundation had some radiance to it. So I think you can see that the L'Oreal foundation added just a little bit of glow to my skin. Two of my other favorites from L'Oreal are their Lumi Glotion, which comes in 4 shades, and their Age Perfect lip liners. And I'll be using those lip liners a little bit later. The Lumi Glotion is a great multitasker since it can be used as face primer, highlighter, it can be mixed with foundation, or simply worn alone. It's also hydrating and is infused with glycerin and shea butter. And what sets the L'Oreal Age Perfect lip liners apart is that they prevent lipstick from migrating into those pesky little fine lines around our mouth. And they come in 8 gorgeous colors. I'll be applying this lip liner a little bit later in the video. To color correct under my eyes, I'm now going to apply 2 of the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealers I mentioned earlier. I'll use Light Peach to color correct, and then I'll apply the shade Fair Beige over the corrector. This is a large doe foot applicator, which would apply too much, so I'm just going to take a little bit off of it with a brush. And I want to put the color corrector just on the area where I have dark circles. And then I'm just going to press it in. And I'm using a Sigma brush, which works beautifully for this. It's their Precision 40 HD brush. And by the way, I have links to that brush as well as everything else that I'm using in today's video in the description box below. And let me show you the shape of this brush so you can see why it works so well. And I wiped off my brush, and now I'm taking just a little bit of the fair beige and patting it over the corrector. And to ensure that these concealers don't crease, I'm going to go ahead and use one of my favorite Maybelline products, their Lasting Fix Banana Setting Powder. First, I'm going to make sure to rub out any creases that might have already happened. And then I'm just going to pat on the powder, just a very small amount. And I'm also going to put a little bit down my T-zone area. Now I'm going to do a little contouring with a contour stick to give my face a little bit more definition. Contouring is a really wonderful way to minimize areas of the face that we want to minimize, such as jawline, jowls, or a high forehead. It can also help our cheekbones stand out, and it can make our nose look thinner. One of my very favorite contour products is from one of my 6 favorite drugstore brands, Wet n Wild. It's their Mega Glow Stick Contour, which comes in 3 different shades. The lightest is a warm shade called Oaks on You. The next deeper shade also leans toward the warmer side of the spectrum, and it's called Call Me Maple. And the shade that I'm going to be actually using today is the darkest shade and is the only cool tone contour shade. It's called Where's Walnut. And as you can see, this is a pretty dark color. So I'm going to pick up some on my brush and then wipe off some of the product from the brush so I don't deposit too much contour on my skin. And as you can see, I've used this for so many years that I've actually rubbed off the name of the product on the applicator. So I've picked up some of the product on my brush, but that's way too much. So I'm going to rub off a little bit on the palm of my hand, and that also evens out the amount of product on the brush so I don't get any much deeper spots than other spots. And then I'm just going to go along underneath my cheekbone. And you don't want to go any closer than this to your mouth area. Then a little bit on my forehead, and then a little bit here. And then I'm taking my foundation brush and just going along the edges so I don't have any lines of demarcation. My other Wet n Wild favorites are their Photo Focus Foundation, which I mixed together earlier with the L'Oreal Age Perfect Serum Foundation, their Color Icon 5 and 10 pan eyeshadow palettes, which unfortunately I cannot find anywhere. I know they're around here somewhere, but I searched high and low. They'll turn up eventually. And 3 other products, which I'll be applying a bit later. Their Mega Glow Liquid Highlight, their Silk Finish Lipstick, and their Color Icon Zodiac Lip Gloss. For blush, I'm jumping to another favorite drugstore brand, Flower Beauty. I've tried many drugstore cream and liquid blushes, as you can imagine, and I mentioned 3 cream and liquid blushes a little bit earlier that I really like. e.l.f.'s Putty Blush, LA Girl's Stick Blush, and Makeup Revolution's Liquid Blush. But the drugstore blush that I keep coming back to is the Flower Beauty Blush Balm Color Drops Blush. There are 8 beautiful colors in this blush, and my favorite is Bubbly, which is a cool pink. And sometimes I also like to mix it with another color called Cheeky to create a more neutral looking blush color. But today I'm just going to go ahead and wear it alone and pick it up with a brush so I have more control in the amount of blush that I'm applying as well as the placement of the blush. And here are the 2 colors. And here's Bubbly, which is that gorgeous cool pink. And I'm going to apply it in the middle of my cheekbone. And I'm going to bring a little bit up over my brow, which really creates some nice symmetry. And obviously I'm getting it on my hair as well, which I'm really not recommending. There are two other products that I absolutely love from Flower Beauty, and one of them is the Spotlight Liquid Highlight, which is one of their newer products in the white gold color called Opal. And this is what Opal looks like. This liquid highlight also comes in two other shades, Gleam, which is a rose gold, and Gilded, which is a bronze gold. And the other product I love from Flower Beauty is their Day Glow Highlighting Glaze. I'm going to go ahead and swatch just a little bit of this product so you can see what it looks like. This is the Flower Beauty Glaze product right here. And above it is the other one I was just talking about. And one Flower Beauty product that I've had my eye on for quite a while that I'd love to try is their Petal Pout lipstick. There's a raspberry pink shade called Rosy Garden and a blue pink shade called Pink Orchid, which look stunning. And I also want to mention one product from Flower Beauty that I've recently tried that I really don't recommend. It's their new liquid contour. And although I know some people do really like it, I found it difficult to apply because it dries down very quickly and therefore can be really hard to blend out. And because of this, it can look patchy. Now let's apply some highlight to the cheekbones to give them a little bit more emphasis. I've already mentioned three highlighters that I absolutely love. The one from L'Oreal called Lumi Glotion, Flower Beauty's Spotlight Liquid Highlight, and e.l.f.'s Halo Glow Liquid Filter. But the one I'm going to actually apply today is an oldie but a goodie from Wet n Wild. It's their Mega Glow Liquid Highlight, and it's gorgeous. And I just put a little bit of this under the two Flower Beauty highlighters, and I think you can see how much more glow this one has. So if you're really looking to amp up the glow look, this is a great one to go to. So I'm just going to pat a little bit of this on the top of my cheekbones and then use a finger that doesn't have any product on it to blend it in. See if I have an equal amount of glow. Wet n Wild also has a nice cream stick highlighter, which doesn't have quite as much glow as the liquid highlighter that I just applied. As you can see, this glow is just a little bit softer. And now we'll finish up with lips. I've already outlined my lips with concealer so I can better create the lip line that I want. And the lip liner I mentioned previously from L'Oreal's Age Perfect line is what comes next. I'm going to use the shade Perfect Burgundy. I'll complete the lip look with my Wet n Wild Silk Finish Lipstick and one of my favorite lip glosses, Wet n Wild's Color Icon Zodiac Lip Gloss in the shade Libra. There are actually 11 other lip gloss shades in this line, and each has the name of a zodiac symbol. And here are the three products I'll be using. The top lipstick color is called Ice Pink. The one below it is called Fuchsia with Blue Pearl. And then the gloss is called Libra. The last two favorite lip products that I want to mention are a lipstick and gloss from Maybelline. First, Maybelline's iconic 24-hour lipstick, which comes in 17 colors, which has been around for years and is specifically formulated to be long-lasting. And I'm sure you'll recognize these products. And Maybelline's Lifter Gloss, which I have in the shade Opal and which comes in 17 other colors. Well, this was great fun talking about some of my very favorite drugstore products, and I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If so, please tap that thumbs up icon to let the YouTube algorithm know. And I do hope you'll share some of your favorite drugstore brands and products with all of us in the comments section below. And if you'd like to receive my weekly newsletter, all you need to do is drop me a line at boomerandbeyondbeauty@gmail.com, and I'll be delighted to send it your way. Until next time, I wish you good health and happiness and hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Take care.